Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're tackling a topic every parent dreads: airports with kids. If you've ever tried to wrangle a toddler through security, you know it's not for the faint of heart. Airports can be stressful, but with kids, it feels impossible. Some airports make it easier, but not all. Today, we're focusing on the tough ones, the airports that seem to have forgotten kids exist. No play zones, no patience from staff, and environments that make you wish you'd stayed home. If you're planning a family trip soon, stick around. I'm about to reveal 7 airports that are especially tough for families with kids. You might want to avoid these, or at least be extra prepared. Let's dive in. Let's start with London Heathrow, a name that's practically synonymous with international travel. It's a gateway to the world, but for families, it can feel more like an obstacle course than a welcome mat. As one of the busiest airports on the planet, Heathrow is a whirlwind of people, noise, and constant movement. For families, especially those with young children, it's one of the toughest places to navigate. The lack of dedicated play areas is a huge letdown. You'd expect a major hub like this to have spaces where kids can unwind, but options are almost non-existent. After a long flight or while waiting for a connection, your kids are restless, cranky, and desperate to move. But there's nowhere safe or fun for them to burn off that pent-up energy. Heathrow is notorious for its long, slow-moving security lines. The wait can feel endless, especially with little ones in tow. Lines stretch on forever, and the crowded spaces make it nearly impossible to maneuver a stroller or keep your family together without stress. There's no fast-track option for families, so you're stuck waiting with everyone else, no matter how tired or fussy your kids are. While Heathrow staff are generally efficient, they're often too busy to offer extra help to families juggling bags, strollers, and restless children. Patience can run thin on both sides. The terminals themselves are massive and spread out, so be prepared for a lot of walking, sometimes across multiple concourses just to reach your gate. If your gate changes at the last minute, you'll need to hustle. With kids and carry-ons, making it in time can feel like a race against the clock. Family rooms, when you can find them, are often occupied or closed for cleaning. There's no guarantee you'll get a spot when you need it most. Seating areas aren't designed with kids in mind. No interactive screens, no play corners, just endless rows of hard chairs and little to keep children entertained. Heathrow's focus on efficiency and moving people quickly means families often feel overwhelmed, stressed, and overlooked in the process. If you're flying through Heathrow with kids, preparation is key. Plan ahead for every possible delay or inconvenience. Bring your own entertainment, snacks, and maybe even a portable playmat. Anything to keep your kids occupied and comfortable during the wait. If you have the option, consider flying through a different airport, especially if you're traveling with little ones who need space and stimulation. There are better, more family-friendly options out there, and your sanity will absolutely thank you for choosing them. Trust me, after a day at Heathrow with kids, you'll need all the patience and sanity you can get. Next, we're heading to New York's JFK Airport, one of the most iconic and busiest airports in the world. Located in Queens, JFK is a major gateway for international and domestic travelers alike, and it's known for its constant hustle and bustle. JFK is huge, busy, and always buzzing with activity. No matter what time of day you arrive, you'll find crowds of people moving in every direction, announcements echoing overhead, and a general sense of urgency in the air. For families, it's the lack of kid-friendly amenities that's especially challenging. There are very few dedicated play areas or quiet spaces for children to unwind, making it tough for parents to keep little ones entertained during long layovers or delays. JFK is one of the busiest airports in the US, and it absolutely feels like it. The terminals are often packed, and the lines for check-in, security, and boarding can seem endless. You're surrounded by a sea of people rushing in every direction, which can be overwhelming for adults and downright stressful for kids. Keeping an eye on your kids is stressful. With so many distractions and so much foot traffic, it's easy to feel anxious about your children wandering off or getting lost in the crowd. JFK falls short on amenities for children. There are hardly any play zones, and the waiting areas aren't designed with families in mind. Most terminals are designed for efficiency, not comfort or fun. The seating is basic, and there's little to break up the monotony for kids who need to burn off energy. That means lots of waiting around with nothing to keep kids entertained. If your flight is delayed, expect to hear plenty of "I'm bored" from the little ones. Food options can be tricky, especially for picky eaters. While there are plenty of restaurants and fast food spots, Finding something that appeals to everyone in the family can be a challenge, especially if you're in a rush. Finding a spot to sit and eat as a family is tough. The food courts are often crowded, and it's not uncommon to circle the area several times before finding enough seats together. Security lines are long and not accommodating for families. There's little in the way of entertainment or distraction for kids, and the process can feel endless. Navigating between terminals is a hassle. The airport is sprawling, and getting from one terminal to another often means long walks or waiting for the air train, which can be confusing if you're not familiar with the layout. If you have a connecting flight, be prepared for long walks. Some gates are a considerable distance apart, and that can be exhausting for families with young children or lots of luggage. Family restrooms are basic and not easy to find. You might have to search for a while, and when you do find one, don't expect anything special, just the bare essentials. JFK is designed for the masses, not for families. The focus is on moving as many people as possible through the terminals, not on making the experience pleasant for those with kids. If you're traveling with kids, prepare for crowds and noise. The constant announcements, rolling suitcases, and general commotion can be overwhelming, especially for younger children or those sensitive to noise. Avoid JFK with your family if you can. The stress, the crowds, and the lack of family-friendly features make it a tough place for parents and kids alike. If you have no choice but to fly through JFK, plan ahead. Bring distractions, snacks, and anything else that will help keep your kids occupied. You're going to need it to survive the chaos. Now, let's talk about Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport, one of Europe's busiest and most iconic travel hubs. While it's a gateway to the City of Light, for families, it can feel more like a maze than a welcome mat. It's notorious for confusing layouts and a lack of kid-friendly spaces. The moment you step inside, you're greeted by a whirlwind of signs, corridors, and crowds, which can be overwhelming for even the most seasoned travelers, let alone families with young children. The layout is massive, and terminals are spread out, making it easy to get lost. Transferring between terminals often means long walks, shuttle rides, and a lot of guesswork, especially if you're unfamiliar with the airport's design. Signs aren't always clear, and juggling kids and luggage is a recipe for panic. You'll find yourself scanning for directions, only to realize the next sign is in a different language or hidden behind a crowd. Play areas are tiny, hard to locate, and often packed. If you do manage to find one, chances are it's already full, leaving your kids with little space to burn off energy before a long flight. More often than not, kids are left to their own devices while parents frantically check maps or phones, trying to figure out the next gate or connection. Long walking distances are a nightmare, especially when you're carrying bags, wrangling toddlers, or trying to keep everyone together in the crowds. If you're carrying a child or pushing a stroller, you'll feel every step. Elevators and escalators aren't always conveniently located, so be prepared for some heavy lifting and a lot of patience. Security and passport control can be slow, especially during peak hours. Lines seem endless, and keeping kids entertained while you wait can be a real challenge. Finding food isn't always easy, and high chairs are rare. Many restaurants cater more to adults, so if your child is a picky eater, you might want to pack snacks just in case. Rest areas are limited, and family facilities are scarce. Family restrooms can be hard to find, and when you do, there's often a line. The atmosphere can feel cold and unwelcoming, with modern architecture that sometimes sacrifices comfort for style. It's not a place that makes families feel at home. Instead, you might find yourself longing for a cozy corner or a friendly face to help you out. If you're flying through Charles de Gaulle with kids, be prepared for confusion. Even experienced travelers can find themselves second-guessing directions or missing connections. Plan your route, pack your patience, and maybe brush up on your French. Having a translation app handy can make a big difference when you're trying to ask for help or read signs. It's not the most comfortable experience, and by the end of your journey, you'll probably be counting down the minutes until you can finally relax. So, if you can, try to connect through a more family-friendly airport. Some airports go out of their way to make travel with kids easier, with spacious play zones, family lounges, and clear signage. And if not, just remember to pack your patience. You'll need it, but with a little planning and a lot of flexibility, you'll make it through. Let's talk about Los Angeles International Airport, or LAX. Famous for celebrity sightings, but with kids, it's more headache than Hollywood. LAX is huge, but lacks dedicated spaces for kids to play. You're left pacing the terminal, trying to keep kids entertained. The environment is chaotic, with packed terminals and constant noise. Navigating isn't easy, especially with kids and luggage. Security lines move, but not quickly, and there's little help for families. Food options are plentiful, but finding kid-friendly meals is tough. Dining areas get crowded fast, and high chairs are scarce. LAX's design doesn't favor families. No quiet corners or comfortable seating. Traffic around LAX is legendary, adding stress to the experience. If you can avoid LAX with your family, do it. If not, come prepared with distractions, snacks, and patience. You'll need all three to survive the chaos. It's not impossible, but it's definitely not ideal. So if you can, try to connect through a more family-friendly airport. And if not, just remember to pack your patience. You'll need it. Now let's talk about Beijing Capital International Airport. Massive and efficient, but presents challenges for families. The language barrier is a real challenge. Not all signs are in English, and not every staff member speaks it fluently. Play spaces are few and hard to find. Kids are stuck in main seating areas, with nothing to do but wait. Long waits at security and immigration can be boring. The airport is huge, meaning a lot of walking. Food options are plentiful, but not always kid-friendly. Restroom facilities are decent, but family restrooms aren't easy to find. The atmosphere can feel cold and impersonal. There's not much warmth or hospitality for families. If you're flying through Beijing capital with kids, be prepared for language barriers. Pack your own entertainment, and maybe learn a few key phrases in Mandarin. It could make all the difference. You'll need it. Let's talk about Frankfurt Airport in Germany, a major hub, but not a paradise for families. Entertainment options for kids are limited. Play areas are small and can get crowded fast. Terminals are busy, with noise and not much space. Security and passport control can take a while. Food options are decent, but finding kid-friendly meals isn't easy. Restrooms are clean, but family restrooms aren't close by. The vibe is businesslike, not welcoming for families. If you're flying through Frankfurt with kids, plan ahead. Bring things to keep your kids occupied. It's not impossible, but it's definitely not ideal. You'll need it. Finally, let's talk about Miami International Airport. If you're traveling with kids, brace yourself. Miami International is not family-friendly. There's a total absence of play zones. Kids need a place to move, and without it, they're stuck sitting and getting restless. The airport is always busy, with packed terminals. Noise levels can be overwhelming, even for adults. Family facilities are lacking, with few family restrooms. Diaper changes and feedings can be logistical challenges. Food options are plentiful, but finding kid-friendly meals is tough. The overall design doesn't help. No quiet corners to escape the crowds. If you need to regroup or calm a fussy child, you might have to get creative. If you can avoid Miami International with your family, do it. If not, come prepared with distractions, snacks, and patience. It's not impossible, but it's definitely not ideal. You'll need it.